Hello, hello. Okay, I think I'm ready. First, good job. Good job. Always nice to be first. Hello everyone, good evening, and welcome to another stream of Plane Shift. The MMO with the smallest team in the world. I think so. Because MMOs, I mean, if you search on Google, what is the average cost to make an MMO, right? Did you ever search for that? You didn't, huh? But I did. So the average cost to make an MMO is about 50 millions, right? Even if, you know, nowadays is more around 100 millions, and some of the most expensive can reach 200 millions, right? You know? So, yeah, well, yeah. So it's kind of interesting to make a game that costs, you know, 50 millions to make, right? It's kind of interesting. Anyway, in the spare time. Anyway, hello, Hula. Hello, Constrabus. Hello, hello. So we have a new sponsor, in case you didn't notice. Well, all the ones that are in Discord definitely noticed, but the ones that are not in Discord, I think it's unlikely you click on our website every day, but today I published the news that we have a new sponsor. The new sponsor is called N-Pipes, which is also the last name of the owner, by the way. What a fantastic name to have if you are, you know, having bandwidth and cables going around, and you are called Pipes. It's quite fantastic. So yeah, so we have a new sponsor. We are already using the new server. Maybe you didn't notice, but we are. And this is the sponsor. They have they provided us the main server, and they also provided us additional additional machines to actually run some of our hosted applications that we use to basically keep the game in good shape, right? And some of the mirrors, right? They have sites all over the world, Hula, but I think that the main, their headquarters is in Australia. I think their headquarters is in Australia, if I remember right. But anyway, if you can go here and check their website, would be nice. They provide VPS hosting, which is basically virtual private server hosting. So you are getting a piece of a server, right? And it is costing less than a full server. And they are also providing dedicated servers if you want, and a number of other options, right? They have a free website builder that you can use for free here and such, right? So yeah, I think I'm very happy that we managed to do the transition to the new server without too much trouble. Our headquarters, yeah, the Atomic Blue headquarters is in Texas. Yes, is in Texas. Correct. The legal entity, let's say. Yeah, so I mean, it's very good to have a new sponsor. I mean, the last sponsor lasted for 11 years, right? Wow, 11 years is a lot. Yeah, we are on the previous sponsor since 11 years, which is pretty much insane. But yeah, yeah. And I don't know, the new one, I hope it lasts another 11. Easy. Let's see. But I'm very happy that people want to sponsor our project. I mean, we have some money obviously coming from the donations and the Patreons and the subscriptions, but I really prefer to use the money, you know, for commissions to add new content to the game and not just to maintain the server, right? So, and I think it's really great to see that someone wants to donate. Sorry, someone wants to donate a server because the server is our life, right? So without a server, we cannot run the game. So anyway, thank you again, Npipes, and I hope the collaboration will last. So if you have any need of hosting something, websites or dedicated server, please check their website so we can give something back, right? Because they are giving to us every month. Consider that the servers usually have a monthly fee, right? So okay, so I didn't do a lot of work, but I did just like an half an hour patch on the thing that we were doing yesterday, and I want to test if it works or not. So basically what I did, I added to the database a new trait, right? A new trait that is dedicated to the Yulbar, the pet, right? And I think it's under character traits. Yeah, character traits, right? Character traits, but not in production, in dev, right? Let me see, did I do it right or no? Character traits. I think I did not do it right. Huh? Wait a second. Character traits. So I added to. So I added a new trait which is 500, right? And it's trait 34. But then I need to add to my familiar which is this guy, 285, right? Let me change the music meanwhile. I don't know why it's doing that, looking for a game to capture. I don't know what is that. What does it mean, looking for a game to capture? I don't want it to capture any game. Well, alright. Let me change the music. So we have to say that our guy, 285, right? 285 has the new traits 500. 285. Yeah, you see it's not there, so I need to add this. 285 as the new trait 500, right? So in theory, now when we are loading that character, yeah, we created the company in Texas, Ula, because Texas has some simplified documents and procedure to create a non-profit organization. So it's definitely easier, right? It's easier to do it there than than in Italy or in France or in Germany. It's definitely easier. So by the way, this guy will look like this in the preview because we are not loading the traits in the preview. That's kind of annoying, but anyway. Okay, seems he's not working anyway, because this guy, as you can see, is not the new color. So I need to understand why. I need to understand why. Okay, let's do this. Let's launch it in debug mode. Because in theory the foundation is there, but so it should work, but it doesn't. So we need to understand why it doesn't. Exactly. Let's run this in debug mode. We need to see if here, when we load the pet, we are getting a new trait, right? And in theory we should, because we are selecting from character traits with the character ID is my NPC ID, which is 34 if I remember right. No, 285, whatever. So this query should actually return 1, and here we are setting, right here we are setting the trait, so we are changing his color basically, and then this is going into this function, and this function is yeah, it's changing the traits variable, and this variable is replicated. So the client should immediately get, right? Should immediately get that updated variable. And now I don't understand, I don't know exactly what happens, you know, client side, we have to check it, but in theory this skin should change, and at the moment it's not changing, so we need to understand what is going on. Then the question would be, how do players get the new skin? Well, this I don't really care. I think I did this because I was debugging this thing, but yeah, we don't really care about that, and we also don't care about this because at the moment we are loading our character, right? But now when I click on my pet and I say summon, right, now this should hopefully return, yeah, is returning 1. Okay, so yep, so it's doing this, which is nice. It's doing this, so yep. Okay, so traits is actually updated, and is updated with the new 500 trait. The name is fucked up. I don't know why. Why the name is completely fucked up? Very strange, huh? The name of the trait is completely off. It's like garbage. It's like garbage. That is not good. Get trait by ID. I think I gave it a name. I think I gave it a name like blue or something. Yeah, I called it blue. So why the name is garbage? So this means that this is garbage as well. This means that this trait ID, right? This get trait ID is broken. It's kind of strange though. Because trait list. Name blue eyes, right? Name blue eyes. It's only for the skin tone, maybe that is not correct. That's possible. That is possible. Yeah, I need to check this because it should not be broken that way. Hairstyle. No, because here is correct. Like location, right? Name, right? So something happens when we are loading this and we get it wrong. Ah, it's actually blue here. So here is correct. That's kind of strange then. So in the base definition is correct. That's strange then. So in the base definition is correct. And here is also correct. So I return it correctly. So this FPS trait is actually valid. Right? Because I'm not passing a pointer, I'm passing a value. I'm passing a value. That's very weird. Why am I passing a value instead of a pointer? Because this is replicated stuff. No, it's not. I don't know why I'm not passing a pointer here. That's very strange. We can check. We can check if the reason is that I am. I have no idea. So I'm basically doing a copy of that pointer, but unfortunately when I copy, it seems that I'm losing data. Which is kind of weird, right? But this is what it is. Yeah, because now we go here, right? And now we go here. And when I enter my trait, right? And now is okay though. I mean, it's still a bit stupid to pass it by value, right? I don't understand why we pass it by value. He has no real reason. Also because this guy is... I mean, yeah, because that is a replicated variable. Okay, anyway. I think it's not a big deal, but yeah, it would be better to pass. But I don't want to change the code because it is in many places, right? So we will have to change a lot of code, retest it, and I think yes. You want to say the Australian? I can do. I think they are. I think they are from Australia. I mean, I don't know. You can just go on the website and click on About Us. There is always About Us, right? About Us, and they will tell you. There is no About Us. Oh, okay. Easy. Or it's not loading. Or I don't know. About Us is empty. Maybe they are remaking the website. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. Anyway. Let's continue with what we were doing. But yeah, I think they are Australians anyway. Now I lost my train of thought. Okay, so this is okay. So we get, yeah. So the trait is actually set, right? With the location skin tone, which is nice, and this means that this variable is then replicated, right? So this variable is replicated with wait, is not this one. This variable is replicated with yeah, with this on wrap set traits, right? And this should happen on the client, if I'm correct, right? So we should get actually replicated using, yeah, exactly, replicated using set traits. So this should go on the client. And it is a blueprint implementable event. So actually we should see, right? We should see this set trait on the client. In theory. Now I stopped the thingy, so maybe it didn't go through. Yeah, I think it didn't go through yet because I stopped the execution exactly when we were, right? But we can do it again. We can do it again with no problems. I'm always amazed at how I can like disconnect the client and nothing breaks, right? Okay, so we will just let it go, right? But here we are definitely setting the trait, right? Into the location, where the location is the skin tone, right? So now in theory on the client, we should have that printout. Yes, we do. So we get on wrap set trait 8. I don't understand what 8 is, but 8 is probably the location. It is probably... come on. GG. GG. What is the number of trades? What the hell? No, it's impossible. Huh? What? Ah, because the array is by default. Yeah. The array has all the values by default. Yeah. That's why. And I think on the client we only do the check if yeah. Okay. No, it's fine. Okay, so the server is saying, hey, you need to change the skin. But the client at the moment is not doing it. We need to understand why. I think maybe I have it. Maybe I have a check for race, right? So probably I'm not allowing the Yulbar to change his skin. That's very possible. And meanwhile, he needs food. Little buddy, I cannot give you food every 2 seconds. Right? Cannot give you food every second. Okay, let's see when we replicate, right, on the client. This set rate on rep, which by the way would be so nice to put it in C++ instead of blueprints, because I think it's a bit crazy that we have this on blueprints actually, because this is going to, you know, be executed a lot, really a lot. Setting traits on client. Ah, by the way, there should also be this one that I didn't see. Ah, yes, it's here. Setting traits on client, right? So this means that we actually properly arrive here. And then we loop for each of the elements and we call this function, right? Which is checking the texture. Yup. And is switching on all this, including skin tone, right? So in our case, this is skin tone. And skin tone is going here. Is searching for the mesh, but the mesh... wait a second. The mesh? No, the mesh. Why? ID mesh? Ah, it needs a mesh. 0 will be torso. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, because in this case we don't have these body locations, right? On our guy. We don't. We can assume that is the torso. But we don't have any of this. So change the color of the body part. My fear is that this is returning 0. Where is the body part? I don't understand. I do not understand. So like for example 14, right? So I think we need to have a generic torso or what? Outro texture. Switch on string. So if I say 14, what is 14? Ah, 14 is head. Ah, okay. So I need the mesh to be the location. Ah, okay, I didn't know that. I did not know that. So yeah, probably at the moment it's not doing anything. At the moment probably it's not doing anything. So we are probably getting an error because none of this is actually found, so we don't go anywhere. I don't know if I want to add a default. Because it is actually a switch on string, but if you add a default pin, right? In theory we could print out something here. We could print out that we didn't find so we are trying to set a skin that is not that actually does not exist. Okay, I think we can print this. We can print out this. Yeah. So at least we know, but it is the case, I think, at the moment, because we're going through this. So we need to have our torso, right? So torso, I mean, I don't understand too much how it works though, because 14. No, I think I understand. Yeah, so if I search a torso, right, there should be a generic torso. Okay, torso is 15. Okay, torso is 15. So if I change this and I say that my blue is 15, right? If I say that my torso is 15, the skin is 15, right? And then we stop this, save this, okay. So now we will probably go through this. So the temporary body part that needs to change will be 0. And this will set the material on the body part. Now I have no idea what this is doing actually, because this is set material on body part, right? Because this is designed for characters, it's not designed for NPC. I mean for a Uber guy. Oh, there is a disconnect. So here we will enter with a texture ID and with 0, because 0 is the torso, right? So this will find the texture. Get race mesh name. He will try to replay. He will try to replace the out texture with the race, but this will do nothing because we don't have dollar race, so this will not do anything. This should actually work. And then here we go and switch on int, right? And I'm understanding to know, wait, this, if this is not empty, if this is not empty, I think we will go through this. Set material mesh element 0. Yeah, I think this may work actually. Okay, let's see. I think it may work, but not 100% sure, but anyway. So I think that now we have everything needed. We're not running debug, so what happens happens. Ah, I saw something blue. Oh yeah. Actually, it worked. Fantastic. It actually worked. There is my little blue guy. My little blue guy. Hello, little blue guy. Hello. Okay, so this technique actually works, right? Yeah, you need food, but it's fine. So this technique actually works. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Now the question is how do you obtain it, right? That's a big question. It's a very big question. How do you obtain it? I mean, it can be in a shop, obviously, right? But the point is that you need to have already a primary pet or not? Because the way it works in our game, right, is that you are getting the primary pet based on your affinity, right? And you may also get another pet, right? And so the problem is let me just check a second how the hell that happens, because oh wow, it's here instant. No, it's not. It's not documented. So actually the name is create familiar this way with a dash in the middle, but which is fine. I mean, that's not a big deal. But the point is that you may come with a master ID or not. So if the master ID is specified, right, is actually creating Yeah, exactly. So this line is basically
You broke it, didn't you?
no, I didn't. It's working perfectly. It's working fantastically actually at the moment. It's working so much. Otherwise, so this is the thing that decides, you know, that decides the familiar. Now, the problem that we have is that if we switch to another character, right? I mean, how can we say that if you change the skin, he's still the same guy, right? Hello, Phoenix. Um, how do you say that it is the same guy, right? I mean, role play wise, right? Role play wise, how do you? How do you say that is still the same guy? We have a role play problem. We don't have a code issue. We have a role play problem, right? So because so imagine that I have my standard creature, right? And I go to a pet shop and I say, "Oh, I want a new pet," right? The problem is that your pet maybe is already with you since 3 months, and he has experience and all the other stuff, right? So this guy has experience and other stuff on him, right? So how do we swap it? I mean, in theory, I can swap it, but I will have to then clear out, you know, all the basic pet variables, right? So that swap needs to be a new. I mean, needs to be something completely new that we don't have. We don't have the ability to swap a familiar, right? To change a familiar with another one. Um, we don't have that ability. I can add it. I'm just thinking the way I want to do it, right? Because in this case, is adding a new trait, but this trait is actually like if he's a new creature. So if he's a new creature, I need to reset the hours you have been with him and things like that, right? The hours alive and all of that. Because the primary pet should only be one, for reasons that are a bit long to explain, but Should only be one. So you can have as many additional pets, but they will not have a bond with you, right? They will not have a mental bond with you. So what I need to do, this is not very easy, because how do we know which trait, right? Which trait is really triggering a new pet, and which one is only maybe a tattoo on the pet skin, right? On the same pet. Huh. Because this thing is not telling us, right? This thing is not telling us if this trait is triggering a new. And also, how does the vendor in the shop know? There is more of a logical problem than a coding problem, right? I mean, it's more of a game design, game mechanic kind of problem. So I can go to my shop, which is kind of a Beastmaster. I go there and I say, hey, I want to change my pet. Now, if you don't have a pet already, basically the guy will not allow you to change it, because you need to be bound to your pet first, you know, and go through all the quests that allow you to create to get a primary pet and all of that, and only then you will be able to swap it or to upgrade it, let's say, right? Yeah, because in fact you are kind of upgrading it. Now there are a few problems, because if you upgrade your pet from this guy to this guy that is blue, right? I'm fine deleting the hours and the energy and everything else and restarting. But the problem may be that this guy already evolved, right, to the next stage. So basically, the moment I create variations, I need to create variations for all the evolution stages, right? So assuming that the next evolution stage has spikes, whatever, right? I then need to have the same. So yeah, so creating a skin is not enough, right? So I need to evolve every stage. Yeah. So you can go, you know, you can go this way, or you can go this way, or you can go this way, or you can go this way, right? Meaning you can start with this guy and this guy grows, and then you upgrade it to another guy that is the same, or when you upgrade it you start from scratch. Well, in theory you should start from scratch, yeah. In theory this doesn't happen. This is impossible in theory. In theory the only line that is possible is this, because you're actually switching the type of pet, and so you restart from a new one, which may be very annoying, by the way, but some people may decide to do it. At that point they will do it as soon as possible, right? So you don't have to do it again. It's a bit of a pity that you lose the other pet. It's kind of annoying. I think in the future maybe you have more than one, but you can only have one active, right? Because it's a bit of a pity that you have to just give it away. I mean, another idea would be that actually the pet is the same one, it's just upgraded magically. So basically, this means that you will have your pet, and at any point in time, wait, how does it work in that way? So you have your pet, and he may grow, and at any point in time you can upgrade it. Yeah, so in this sense, this line will actually be valid, because it will be the same pet, will always be the same pet. So there is like new pet, and it is same pet, right? I think same pet is probably the best now that I think about it, right? I mean, it really looks like a different creature, but you may magically enhance it, right? Or something. You may evolve it magically or whatever. I mean, this guy looks different, right, than the other guy. Significantly. I mean, it's the same creature. Right? It is the same creature, but definitely different. No, look at me. Okay. Fine. Hey, I need food, I know. I think it would be nicer if it's a different creature, but if making it a different creature is kind of annoying, because first of all requires that you basically reset it, right, to a new creature. So it will basically you will sell this guy and you will buy another one, and so all the stuff that you taught him, right, you will forget. And I think is annoying for the player. So probably I prefer the same pet. Even if I think that one day you would like to change him, right? So I think one day you would like to change him. One day you will say, oh, I want to have, you know, that other pet as my main linked pet. But yeah, at that point you will have to park them in your house or somewhere, because losing them would be so annoying. So I think I will allow to have only one active pet. So I think I will have to add a new flag under character relationships that at the moment we don't have, I think. Because I think at the moment everything is familiar, right?
Good job on that, by the way. Sarcasm self-test complete.
I think I have to add a new field here. Or I can just call it differently. Instead of familiar, we can specialize it in primary familiar, and secondary familiar, right? Or we can specialize it in familiar and mount, because actually all the others are actually only mounts. I think I like the primary idea anyway. So primary or not. But then I think even within the primary, where do we store the pet stuff at the moment? We store it here. Pet evolution, pet abilities. Pet evolution, pet abilities. But I think that these ones are the definition of it, right? Yeah, these are the definition. So these are not the actual baby, child, union, adult, elder. No, but sorry, where I'm storing, for example, where I'm storing the pet alive. I think I'm storing the pet alive in the connected time, probably. And I have no idea where I'm storing the... I think the evolution, I think I'm determining it based on the experience that this guy has. I think it's based on the experience. So based on the experience, I'm changing the evolution stage and the sides. So I did it very low key, right? I did it like the minimum implementation possible. So I did not add a pet table. I did not add a pet table. I just used the same character table that we have, and so this 285, right? And then I think I just populated the time seconds connected, right? So if I do this divided by 3600, right, is 3.7 hours, which is exactly what we see here, 3.8 hours, right? So I used the connected time to know how long this guy's been alive, and then I can use the experience point to know how much experience this guy has and the level of evolution. And I can also use the progression point if we want for something else. Yeah, and pretty much, yeah, I don't have anything else. So if we want to say, oh, now this guy is a different type or has a different skin, right? I have to set the skin. So, or I make a new race and I call it blue Yulbar, and this will go into race info. The same way we have, for example, I don't know, different types of clacker, right? So we have clacker, this is the base clacker, but there is also the jade clacker, right? So the difference between this and this, these are actually two completely different races. And this race determines, so they can have completely different meshes in case, and textures and statistics and everything, and skills and stats and spells and whatever, right? So they are really two different races, while what I did now for the Yulbar is just another skin. So I just gave him a skin, like an Enki can be a core Enki or a Blikau Enki, right? So the same way, so I'm just changing the skin. And it's nice on one side because it's very easy to do, but it carries the now we carry the problem of this, right? So is this an evolution? Is from brown to blue actually an evolution, or is another race? Do we want to model it as another race or not? There is a super big question. There is a super big question, because if we have depending, I mean, I think it depends on the number of customization that we have, right? So if the customizations are, I think the customization will be color and yeah, I can change the eyes, I can have some tattoo, yeah, I can change the fur to be different. But is that another race? That is what I don't know yet. I can have some armor on top of it. The problem, I think, is the evolution, because if I evolve, I need to evolve keeping the skin changes, right? And that's kind of costly. That is kind of costly. While if I have a new race, I may say, oh, sorry, the new race does not evolve, right? So for example, I could say this baby guy stays baby forever, right? It never goes into the bigger. But if I do that, then no one will use it, right? No one will use this guy because it doesn't evolve. So I think we are like killing it if we don't have him evolve. So yeah, I think they all have to evolve somehow. There is a complex problem from the game design point of view, right? But let's say that thinking for a second with infinite resources, right? So like we have as many artists as we want, as many, you know, so infinite resources. I would say every evolution, you know, has all the skins, right? Every evolution is all the skin, but we have to be careful though, right? Because if I say, oh, now there is a blue skin, fine, but then I say, oh, but now there is armor, and there are maybe two types of armor, then I will have to put two types of armor on this on all the evolutions, right? So I will need to have the armor for the brown guy, the armor for the blue guy, the armor for the brown evoluted, and the armor for the blue evoluted, right? So now they may fit, they may be the same if the model is similar, changing only the skin, but still maybe it's a different color or whatever. So I have anyway infinite possibilities, right? So it becomes like a car configurator. It's like when you buy a new car and you choose all the colors, the seats, you have a million options, and if we start to have a million options, my life is becoming harder, definitely. So at the moment, with the other monsters, we have set on this kind of basic rule that every monster has 3 variations, right? The base and 2 additional variations, so 3 total, right? So we could do the same with the pet. So we can say the pet can have 3 variations, and it can evolve within those 3 variations. So I will not have infinite skins or 10 skins. I will maximally have 3, and we can even limit to 2 if we want. And then we will have to maintain the evolved form, right? The evolved form. Now the only problem I have for roleplay is how can this guy change from this to this without being another creature, right? How can he change from this guy to that guy without being another creature? Right, this and this, right? He's not the same guy. He's a different one. I mean, is different because we enhance him magically, or is really another creature? I think he's another creature. I mean, the way I see this guy, it looks like another creature from this guy, right? Yeah, it's only the skin that is changing, but it's a different type. I mean, it's like his bones are different color, his nails are different color, his skin is different color. He needs food. It is a different creature, so we should actually consider him a different creature. So if you consider a different creature, probably would be easier to model it as a different race. If we model him as a different race, I will have to reset completely the experience when you switch it. I don't know if I'm ready to do this. I don't know if I'm ready to do this, because this, I think, is bigger than what I was thinking in terms of change. Because I think I need to evolve this a bit, because this is now very basic. Also, I don't like the idea that we have. I don't like the idea of the fact that the primary pet is always the first one, right? So that's kind of limiting, actually. Let me think about it. Pet type starts with 0 for the primary pet. This is what I think we should change, because there is a very bad trick, right? So we are basically considering that the first pet is always the primary, but I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. I mean, it's a hack, you know, it's kind of a hack just to a hack. Sorry, a hack just to make it work. But in theory we have a flag which is called the pet type that we don't even use, right? But in theory we have. I split between pet and mount pet. So in theory, we have this information. It's just that we are not using it properly. But we actually have the information in the character type. So we know if he's the primary pet or if it's just a mount pet. And I think in the future, if we evolve that you can have more than one primary, that is great because it's already correct, right? So we can have multiple character type 2 linked with the relationship familiar, right? Yeah, so I think this is actually great. I don't know why we are not using this information, because this information is actually coming here. So do we say that you can change the skin also if that pet is not your primary pet? I would say yes, right? So in theory, the skin, armor, anything. Well, armor, I don't know. But the skin may work on any pet. So I think the first change I want to do, I know it's a bit annoying to do it here, but is now what is the problem? That here we say only first pet, and then we get the zero, right? We get 0 here. In theory, we should for loop and find. It's a bit annoying. What I'm doing here. I'm changing the position of the camera based on. Yeah, can we move this into another function, because it's a bit stupid to have it like this. I think it's weird. Yeah, I think all of this should go in a separate function, because it is too much and it's confusing me. So this is so there will be setup camera and lights for pet or something like that, right? Setup camera and light for pet, and the only thing that we need to have the pet. We only need to have the pet class, right? We can actually send this structure, which is probably the best, right? We send this pet owned PS own pet structure, and then we extract what we need. Right. So on this guy, we need the race mesh. And on the race mesh, we have to do what? Cast to actor class. And get display class name. Why we have to cast it to an actor class? I don't think it's needed, but anyway. I don't want to rethink that logic, so if it works that way, it works that way, it's fine. Yeah, so now the only difference is that this line, right, this line becomes this line. And everything else should be self-consistent, right? And here we just call this setup camera, right? Setup camera and lights for pet, and we pass in our what? We pass in our pet 0. Yeah, we pass in this guy. Now, okay, so this should be identical to what we were doing before with just some cleanup here so that it's easier to understand that this is just the setup, right? And it's done only once, so that is pet, camera, and light setup, right? Which is fine. But now what I wanted to change, that my... Instead of using this get 0, right, I think we could loop all the own pets and find the one that is actually type 2, right? So that we are sure that we are getting the primary, even if it's not the first one. We may get the first primary, which I think is a fair enough assumption, right? I think I will do, I will do a for each loop with break, actually. With the assumption there is at least one that is, right, so I will have to break this. I will have to find the pet type, and I will have to say if the pet type is equal to 2, which actually for us means a primary pet, right? Primary pet. And this is a branch, right? So yeah, I split the one below because I wanted to have a bit more space here and having this part less messy. Because now what we need to do, instead of getting this get 0, right? We don't have this get 0 anymore. We have this, and we find right, the first one that is actually matching this logic. And when we find one, we could even have a function that is find primary pet. Yeah, which is probably a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, which is simpler. Let's create a function that is like find primary pet, so that we don't go crazy, right? Find primary pet. Actually, I need a function because this needs to be yeah, exactly. No, this needs to be a function. I need a new function because we need a result, right? So find primary pet, right? So this one will get as an input, we'll get the pets owned, or owned pets, right? And as a result, he will give the primary pet, right? Which for now is only one guy, but in the future it may be more than one. So now here I can put what I was trying to do here, right? So, and this will become cleaner now because I can do this thing, right? So I can do this, I can get my pet, I can see if he's a primary pet, and I can actually set, I think I need a variable of some kind. Right, I think it can be a local variable actually. Can I move it? No, that would have been too nice. Can I move it to local? No. GG. Peachy. Oh, what happened? No! No! The editor crashed. Can you believe it? It's a long time I don't see an editor crash. I did a cut variable. Hello, Manasgoa. Hello, hello. It's 2:30 a.m. there. Wow. It's pretty late. It's pretty late. So I think the change that I'm doing now is not a big change, but is a change that is good for cleaning up the logic, right? Unfortunately, this thing crashed, so I don't know. I don't know if I saved it or I didn't save it. I have no idea. I don't remember if I saved it. So we may have to redo a lot. Well, I didn't do much. I was thinking mostly, but let me see if we have. What? I don't even remember where we were. Oh my god. Well. Okay. I don't know exactly where we were on. Send or receive pet list, right? Send familiar information. No, it was before that. It was receive something. Fuck, come on. Receive pet list. Yeah, exactly. Receive pet list. Receive pet list. Okay. Oh fuck, it didn't save anything. Okay. No, it didn't save anything. Shit. Okay, but we know exactly what we want to do. So we said that from here down it becomes a new function, right? Annoying. And it is set up pet, camera, and light, right? And the only thing that we needed was the pet, which is owned pet something. Yup. And then we were breaking. I will take me a second to redo it because I know exactly what to do, and so it's so much easier, right? And then and then what the hell did we need? Yeah, we needed this guy, and then we had to do this and this, and yep. So we had to do this, we had to do this, and we had to do this, and then this, and the only difference is this is going here, right? Okay, so now we can disconnect this and we can call setup camera thingy, right, with the pet selected. Now the pet selected, okay, let me save now. So I think that this is fine, unless I did something stupid, but I think it should be fine. So that is setup pet camera in light. Okay, now here we were adding a new function, right? That was, we were adding a new function that was called find primary pet. And find primary pet, we said that is taking owned pets. There is an array of this and is returning a primary pet that is actually this. Okay, now I need to do a for each loop with break. I need to take this guy and break it, and I need to take this pet and see if it's equal to 2, which is actually primary, and I need to branch it, right? And I need to branch it, and if I find it, right, if I find it, I need to break, because we only take the first one, and then I mean, if we don't find it, I don't know, but yeah, if we don't find it, maybe a kind of a problem, but anyway. So we will have a local variable that is found pet, which would be set to 0 at the beginning, and it will be set to this guy, right, if we find it, and this will go back, right? And then at the end of our cycle, which is actually here on the completed, we will take our found pet and we will return it, right? Oops. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do now. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do. So obviously, if this is false, right, it will return, it will cycle through all the pets, it will not find the primary, and it will basically return a null variable. So found pet will be null, right? Will be empty, which is okay anyway. So let me save it. So now if we go back to the main schema, we can actually call this function, and it's a bit cleaner, because instead of doing this mess of get 0, right? This get 0 is the wrong one, right? Instead of doing get 0, we will do this, right? And now in theory we get the proper primary pet. We get the proper primary pet, and then we do this cast. I don't know exactly where we are casting it, but it's fine. And then we get a race mode, and everything else should work exactly the same with this pet, right, being sent here. Okay, good. So this basically is doing, what I did is basically doing nothing. It's just cleaning up, right? It's just cleaning up the code, separating the setup of the camera and the find and the search for the primary pet into separate functions. So it's making this, as you can see, way smaller and cleaner. And also is using the pet type now to determine the primary pet, which I think is the best idea. Right. Yeah, let's say primary pet now. Okay, so we can see if this works. Basically, it should return. Yeah, so now that we have this, I think it will work, but obviously we will test it, right? We will test it. The point is, now that we have the primary pet identified, right? If I want to swap this is what I still don't know, right? I still don't know if when I'm swapping race or I'm swapping skin. Hello, Marcellum. Good evening to you. Am I swapping race or I'm swapping skin? That I don't freaking know. These are two different options, right? So we may decide to swap race because the vendor needs to know. The vendor needs to know. The vendor needs to know. So when you go, so let's imagine we have an NPC, right? And he's a vendor NPC, and he's a pet NPC. He's a pet NPC. So how this is done, for example, in World of Warcraft, right? So do they allow you to customize your pet or no? If I go World of Warcraft, right? Can you customize what you can customize? Customize your warlock pet. Add it to any barber shop and take a seat. Find one of the Ogrimmar and the pet between the Valley of the Wisdom. What the fuck? No, I mean how to customize any pet. How to unlock every warlock pet customization. Only the warlock can customize the pet? Why? Only the warlock can customize pets? Warlock demon pet customization option. Simply go to any barber shop.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today any level, as soon as you get pets you can do this. So when you click the barbershop now in 10.1.5, you'll see a bunch of new options. So no doubt you'll be able to recustomize your character like you normally do, but you'll see at the top right here there are now some options for all of your pets. So the pets customizable in 10.1.5 are the Imp, the Fell Hunter, the Void Walker, the Doom Guard, the Sayad, the Infernal for Destruction, and the Felguard for Demonology. So this is what it looks like. So when you go onto here, you can see you now have the option to customize your pets. Very, very similar to the way that you do it with your dragon riding drakes. Now this, as it seems, is account wide. So I unlocked these new customizations for the imp on another character through a quest line, and it looks like they are on all my warlocks now. So that's very, very cool. Very happy that it is account wide. So most of these are obtained through items called grimoires. These could drop from various types of content. You can see this one here comes from Burning Crusade Time Walking. So it is a work in progress, so not all of the ones do have sources right now.
Hello, Tyler.
We'll see that
Thank
more
you for
and more
the subscription on
as
YouTube.
the PTR continues, and obviously once 10.15 launches, we should have a full list. Speaks through some of the new warlock customizations for your imp through that. Time rhythm on other characters, as far as I'm aware, you will have default as well. You have found at the fair. Yeah, various different sources from like old content as well, which is really fun. So on your warlocks, you're gonna have to go back and do all that content. I don't.
So when he's switching the color, he's actually switching a bit more than the color, right? So he's switching the style as well. You see that when he switches through this, the model is actually changing as well.
You're going to have to go back and
like
do all that
this,
content. I don't think you can go and obtain them on other characters, as far as I'm aware. The older res is getting a lot of available, but you can do that in different colors and a brand new style like this, which is really cool. Now, I believe this is also a new model, as far as I'm aware, but I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, this is a couple of options for the Fellhound. As you can see, some of them have Fellhounds of Sargeras. No doubt they were discovering where all of these come from. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Walkers. Now, I don't know if this is just a high-res one as well, as you can see in Walker model, which is really cool, and obviously the high-res one as well, as you can see in all different colors with armor, no armor, etc. As mentioned, they are all unlocked on this character, and I haven't really done anything at all. So vanilla WoW to Syads now. Looks really, really cool. So yeah, and a Supremus model, I really like that. But again, like, I really hope that this is obviously going to be for destruction only. So you have a green one and you have an orange one, which very similar to all these other models. Cool. I'm really looking forward to really awesome, and I see more in the future of this.
Yeah, but basically you go to the barber and you customize it like if it was your character, right? So completely out of character, complete bullshit, right? I mean, not bullshit, but I'm saying complete non-RP, non-roleplay, right? Hello, Nito. Hey, is there a broadcast on how you did the pet preview in the UI? Yeah, probably, but I don't know which one. You can search pet, but basically the pet preview is just a camera. I can show you. I mean, it's a camera that is set up in a specific part of the world all the time, which is in my persistent level. So in the persistent level, I have a pet thingy, like this pet spotlight, right, and pet scene capture. So I have I have a scene capture camera, and yeah, but I think you can find it in my past things. Where the content is so annoying. Yeah, so this is a scene capture 2D camera, right? So which is basically a camera that can render to a texture, right? And so this is what I'm doing. So as soon as the game starts, I have this location that I call the pet actor location, and so I'm basically spawning a character of the proper race here, and the camera is pointing to it. Now there are a few tweaks I need to do, because there are some pets that are very small, others that are very big, and so I need to change the light position. And this is what I do. In this setup pet camera and light. So basically based on the race, right, we have 4 type of pets. Based on the race, I just change the camera slightly. Yeah, so this is what I do. But yeah, pretty much is a scene capture, and then the scene capture is going into the pet window. So if I go here under pet window, I can show you pet window. Yeah, win pet. So this is the window, right? So this is the scene capture, and this is actually pointing, you see, to a material, and this material is the one that is used by the scene capture, right? So it's just a very simple material, just with the texture sample is material domain user interface, because this needs to go on a UI, so you cannot have it like surface or anything else. So you need to have user interface or pack, right? And this is the material that is actually mentioned in the scene camera, if I remember right? You see target texture, Groffel camera, right? So this camera is pointing, the scene 2D capture is pointing to the Groffel camera, and then my material is using this texture that is Groffel camera. So nothing more complex than this, and basically you will have in the UI, you will have the preview of what the camera is seeing. Do you think that using the system will affect the performances? Yeah, a bit, yes, because you need to have a character always there. But, you know, it's just another character loaded. I mean, it's not insane. So, it's fine. It's just another character, right? And also that character will not be visible to your main character. So you are not drawing it twice, right? You're not drawing it twice. No, I think I mean, I think it's not a problem. But for example, I decided to do the 3D view only for the primary pet, because you can have like 4 or 5 different pets at the same time, right? And I didn't want to create every model with a camera. So only the primary pet is actually in 3D. The others are pictures, which is probably not the best, but is what I did up to now. Yes, also for performance reasons. Yeah, also for performance reasons. So yeah, World of Warcraft allows you to do this customization completely out of any roleplay thing, right? So this guy becomes red, blue, green, you know, without any reasoning behind. So it's just, you're just customizing him like it was furniture, right? But I really don't like it. I think our pets are like real creatures, right? Like live creatures. So if you want to change the skin, you get another pet, right? So he's another guy. He's not the same guy. So you have to go to the pet shop, and you will have to buy it, right? Thank you, Nito. No worries. Let me see what Tyler is saying. Tyler is saying, pets in the WoW are generally customizable. Warcraft is someone which is treated like a pet of sort, but is not the same as pet everyone else. Okay. So usually the other pets are not customizable in World of Warcraft, okay. But you get you have so many pets that basically is the same as I'm trying to do, right? Because I will give you a different one, right? So and yeah, in World of Warcraft you cannot customize one pet, but you get another, right? So which is exactly now. The difference for us is that the pet will grow, right? So the pet will go from, like this pet here will go from, why I find this content browser annoying? Because probably I didn't have it this way. I added what? I added only in the center maybe? Or center right? I don't know, I find it more and more annoying. I think it was here but not there. And I don't know exactly how to do that. So I put this guy on the wall bottom, and then I put this guy on the wall right. Maybe it will do it. I would like this to be in front of this, no? That is like it was like the default, I think. But if I do this, I think I have to move all these guys. No, it was not like this. Fuck. I fucked it up. It was like this. Yeah, exactly. Ah, yes, 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 yes. So with the browser going only on the left, right? I think is what it was. I don't know. But anyway, I find it better this way. So I have more space here on the right. You get him a tattoo. Yeah, but you see, this guy's so different. I don't know if he's another guy. I think he's another guy. I think that I'm debating this since 1 hour, and I'm still unsure if this is another guy or not. I don't know. I mean, I mean, when you change for brown to blue, is the creature another creature? I think the answer is yes. But when you will color just when you will give him just a tattoo, right? Then it will probably not be another creature. And when you give him like a particle effect, it will not be another creature. It will be an enchantment, right? An enchantment on him. So what I'm struggling is what I'm struggling on is what are these options and how the player is obtaining these customizations, right? So you go to a shop and you sell your pet and buy a new one. And if that's the case, what happens to your ring, right? The ring of familiar that we use to link the pet with you, right? What does that do to your ring? Do you need another ring with another pet, or will it work for all the primary pets? I think it may. I think the ring will stay the same. I think the ring will stay the same. That I'm pretty sure of. But I still struggle a lot on is it a completely new race or not, right? Because in theory, this witch I could do fairly easy, right? Okay, let's try to give to the engine the capability to do this witch, right? So at the moment, if I want to enable that switch, right? By the way, I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking that if the pet evolves into a new skin, into a new model, the material will be different, so the trait will be applicable only to the new model, right? Yep. Will be another texture for the new model. So when he evolves, I think I probably need to create a completely new table for pets. I think this table that we have now is not cutting it. Is not. I mean, I'm trying to squeeze it in the one that we already have, like I did. So basically, is reusing the same character table. But the problem is that let me try to explain you the problem in a better way, right? So the problem is this. I don't have a solution yet, but the problem is this. Okay, so I have my little guy, right? this guy. I have my little guy, which is this guy, right? This guy leaves. I mean, this guy is bound to you with a special quest, right? And you get him, right? And he becomes yours. And he has his characteristic, his stats, his energy, his happiness, his whatever, right? Now we have another guy. That is this guy. Which is basically him, but it's not him, right? Because it's completely different. I mean, the nails are different. The bones are... the bone color is different. The skin is completely different. I mean, it cannot be him just painted, right? So it's another... I mean, it's the same race somehow, but different variation, right? Now, the problem I have is that this guy will actually evolve. And unfortunately, I don't have the skin yet, right? I don't have the... But this guy will evolve. So as this guy gains experience together with you, right? He will become this, right? It will become this. So it's the same pet that actually grows, right? After some time. And obviously, you would be expecting, right? We would be expecting him to be the same color, right? Somehow. So here you expect this guy to be that color, right? But then if you get this guy, then you will need to have, right? You will need to have this guy evolve into right, into this thing. Right? And so you expect that the evolution of it, right? The evolution of it as this color, right? And so on. And it can evolve again. I don't know how many times it can evolve. We didn't define it yet, but maybe it can evolve, I would say reasonably 3 times, right? Reasonably 3 times. So my problem is that whatever customization we allow, right? We have to maintain it across the evolutions, which, okay, you may say, well, it's just a matter of creating another skin for all the evolutions. Yes, true. But now my problem is, okay, I have this guy, I am in game, and I have this guy, right? And I want this guy. How do I do it? I go to a shop and I buy a new one? Or I go to a shop and I magically change this guy that he becomes this? But I don't think it makes a lot of sense, right? I think I'm going to a shop and I'm buying a new one. And so what happens to my old guy? The old guy is gone when we kill him? No! No, I mean, what happens to the old guy? You just sell it? And if you want, you can buy it again? But it's not the same guy? I don't know. Because this guy has experience, right? The problem is that this guy has experience. So this guy may be, at the moment that you go to the shop, maybe this guy has 1300 XP, right? You go to the shop and he has this. You buy this guy. So this guy will be, in theory, 0 experience, right? And also this guy may have learned something from you, because we have a way actually that the pet is learning stuff, right? So what happens to all the stuff that he learned? You don't have only experience, you have locations that he learns, right? Locations, so he has knowledge, right? He has knowledge, which can be locations, which can be, and by the way, it can also have items in the future. At the moment it doesn't, but it may have an inventory. It may have phrases, speech, you know, phrases that he knows and say. So if you go to a freaking shop and you buy this guy, are we going to reset everything or not? That is the question in my mind. I think my answer is yes. Okay, my answer is yes, because there is another guy, but this means that you will have to relearn. I mean, you will have to teach again everything to this guy. And then the problem is, what happens if then this guy evolves, right? And I'm here, and I'm here, and then I want this guy. Do I need to have him evolve again? I think the answer is again yes, unfortunately. So you will not be able, right? You will not be able to go from here to here. You will not be able to go from here to here. But we may have another case, right? Which is a simpler case, that you get for this guy, right? Let me do it this way. That for this guy, maybe you get some let's say accessories, right? So like you get a bag or whatever. You get a bag, you get a hat. Okay, let's say that you get a hat, right? You get a hat, or you get, I don't know, this guy is so small, there is not really much you can have, but let's say you get a bag on the side. Okay, you get a small thingy, that goes across his body, right? And it's actually a bag, right? It's a bag, so he can carry items. Let's say he can carry items, right? So in this case, it's different. So it's not that you are going from one guy to a completely new guy. You are just putting a kind of an accessory on top of your guy. So this is why I'm saying that if I do it only with the trades table, right, it's absolutely impossible. It's not enough, right? I need a wide range of possible customizations. And also the mess is that if I do that, right, and this armor, and you have this bag here, then maybe you want this bag also here, but it's a completely different model, so I will have to model, you know, two different bags, right, and fit them different. So I mean, the more option I add, the more of a mess it becomes. But I'm currently messing up with procedural text and applying to him. I was just trying to decide direction and Tiger Dragon. Yulbar are very pliable when young. You feed them some vegetables. Once locked in, they continue. What? Are very pliable? What do you mean by pliable? Once locked in, they continue? I don't understand what you meant, Marcel. Yeah, so I think we need, so basically in short, I think that we need two types of options, right? Option one is I swap my primary pet with a new primary pet. And this option should actually reset completely the experience. So like this is a new guy, right? And I don't know if I want to keep him. Yeah, I think the best would be if I keep this guy alive, right? In the database. If I keep him alive in the database, so I'm not really deleting the character, but I'm creating a new character with a different traits, right? This means that under character relationships, you will see two people, but one will be active. So like, can you go back to the shop? Can you go back in the shop, right? And buy again your old pet? Do we want to be able to buy back our old guy? Because if we want to buy back our old guy, I need to keep him. Or do we want to store this guy in our house or somewhere, right? So that's the big question. Because if you want to keep it, then I will have just to create a new entry for the new pet, flag him as type number 2. And the old guy, I can add here a new column, right? That is available only for familiars, which is active or not active, right? Active or not active. Or I could even use if I go under character, right? Can I use any of the existing fields? I mean, or I cheat and I use the spawn rule. It's a bit cheating, but I could do it. Because spawn rule is exactly, you know, is he spawning or is not spawning? At the moment, I think all the familiars, I think that spawn rule probably have 0. I assume. I mean, actually, they have to, because otherwise they will spawn in game automatically. Yeah. Yeah. So I cannot really use this, right? I cannot use this. I think we need to extend the character relationship, add a new column, and this column will be just additional info, right? Additional info. And for the familiar, we will use this additional info to say if is something that you can buy back, if is maybe stored, right? Because you could put this guy maybe in your home or in a guild house or somewhere, and then bring it back, right? I don't know if you need a ritual to actually reactivate your old familiar, or if it's just gonna die. I mean, usually in the Dungeons and Dragons lore, if you, I mean, if you stop, I mean, you cannot really stop. I don't think you can change your familiar in dismissing a familiar. Dismissing a familiar forever. You gain the service of a familiar spirit in animal form, blah blah blah. Your familiar acts independently, but obeys your commands. When a familiar drops 0 hit point, it disappears, leaving behind no physical form. While your familiar is within 100 feet, you can communicate. Additionally, no. You can temporarily dismiss your familiar. It disappears into a pocket dimension. Then you can alternative, you can dismiss it forever. As an action, while temporarily dismissed, you can cause it to appear within occupied space within 20 feet. You cannot have more than familiar at a time. If you cast this spell where you already have a familiar, it causes instead to adopt a new form. Choose one of the forms from the above list. Your familiar transform the chosen creature. But it doesn't tell you what happens to the permanently dismissed. But yeah, basically it's allowing you to change familiar. It's allowing you to change it. Because actually the familiar is kind of a magical creature, right? It goes into the shop and another player may buy it. It goes into the shop and another player may buy it. Actually no, because the experience that he gains, you know, is something that is related to you. So I don't want you to like farm, I mean like level up familiars for other people. I think would be a bit weird. So like you level him up, right? You sell it and someone else. I think the link that the magical link that you create with your familiar is unique. And it cannot be substituted. So I think that my idea is to add a new column. And we can do it now, by the way, because I think that is the final solution. I can add a new column here that I will call additional info. And this one will be used for so at the moment it will be used for pets to determine if your primary pet, to basically determine the one that is linked, right? To determine the pet you have linked, your primary pet, to determine which primary pet is actively linked to you, or if is stored, sold somewhere, right? So I think this can actually be a value like, so the default is empty, right? And we will have to be sure that when we set, I don't know if this is a good idea. I'm just you know, I'm just trying something, but I don't know if this is really the way we will end up doing it but so we will have to update the schema, right? Need to keep track of this. We will have to load that information. We will have to load that information in character relationship. So probably we'll have to change the way character relationship relation. Okay, I can do it. So we don't care about the yeah, so basically inside of this, right? Ay, ay, ay. At the moment, we only have the ID of the familiar. We don't have any additional information. We only have a very simple ID. Owner ID is sitting on what? Owner ID is... Now the problem is that at the moment we only have there is a TRA of PID, so we only keep the ID, but we don't have any additional attribute because we will need it. Are we using it so little? No, because we are going through this, right? Get familiar ID, send familiar information. Yeah, that's pretty much the only time where we read this. I mean, if you want, we can keep the ID only and then query. But you know, doing a query on the database every time we ask a question about the familiar is a bad idea, right? So we should actually. It's a bit late, boys. Oh my god, the time today passed so quick. We didn't do much, but we did a lot of reasoning. Yeah, the time went like super fast. Wow. Maybe before I leave, let's just try to understand what is the plan, right? So what we have to do. I think what we have to do. Okay. I think what we have to do is this. Let me try to spell out a bit of a plan, right? So the first thing I did, the first thing we did today, and I think this is done, right, is to establish a clear rule, right? A clear rule. For the primary pet, right? And this one we did it. And this one is character type equal to 2, right? And character type equal to 2 I would say and relationship active, right? Which is the one that we were adding now, right? So it needs to be active, right? The second thing we need to do is to allow a way to customize the traits of a pet race. And this is what we did this is what we did already. So this is done, right? Because we can actually switch the color of that guy based on the traits that are in that table. And it is done. But now the problem is, right? The problem is how to allow a player to actually switch between one and the other. So we need to, yes, exactly. So I need to have a way to switch between primary pets, right? And this actually has a number of sub bullets, because the first thing I need to be able to define this the relationship as active, not active. So I need to define relationship active or not active. I need to define how often you can do it, and if you can do it at all time, or if there is like a last, you know, like if you require what it requires, right? What is the requirement? What is the requirement to switch, if there is one, right? So is it time? Is it resources? Is it magical energy, so is mana, is a spell, is what the hell it is, right? So I don't know exactly at the moment what is the requirement to switch between one or the other, but I think that it will probably be a combination of all of this. I don't want it to happen easily. I want it to happen fairly in a complex way, right? Then the other thing will be on switch, right? On switch. Well, no, I mean the characters will actually be separate characters, right? So every pet, I mean, obviously every pet is a character, is a separate character, right? Every primary pet, but like every pet, not just the primary. So every primary pet, oh my god, every primary pet is a separate character, you know. So in the characters table, DB table, right? So but that's a given. I think that's not a problem, right? That is already how it is now. And so when we switch, we actually create a new character, right? Unless you can switch to an existing one. Yeah, exactly. So we need to define if we want to be able to switch to an existing one. That actually, I'm not completely sure, but I would say the answer is yes, right? Well, which is basically this, right? So you can switch to a new character if you buy a new one, or you can switch to an existing one of yours, right? So one that you already had in the past, right? So you can switch between, yeah. So you go to a shop or you go to a location and you perform this magical thingy, and you basically recover your pet from because I mean at the moment in reality your pet doesn't even exist in the material plane all the time, right? So this is you, right? That is you. You have very small legs. And at a certain point, you know, you summon your pet. And when you summon your pet, it would be nice to have a kind of a portal animation, but he's basically coming from another dimension, right? So that guy doesn't live in the material plane. He lives in the material plane only when you summon him, right? Which is exactly the way Dungeons and Dragons does it. So the pet will actually get out of the portal, and he will live in the material plane for the time that you want, right? Unless, I mean, until you dismiss him, right? Until you dismiss him. So in theory, we don't even have this problem of buying, you know? We don't even have this problem of buying. I mean, did this really a spell? Right? It is a spell. So I don't think you even go to a shop. I mean, you can go to a shop or to a magician, to a wizard of some kind, but basically what he needs to do, he needs to empower you with a spell that allows you, or an item that allows you to drag another new pet out of the portal, right? This is basically what we are saying, right? I think this is what we are saying. So RP wise. So for example, a customization, right? A customization could be the portal color. You know, if we want, if we have a portal, if we create a portal to bring in the guy, you know, he can have a particle effect when he appears, when he's kind of appearing, right? So he could have a portal, he could have a particle, he can have whatever he has, right? And that one is actually, that I think would be fine to actually customize without any procedure, right? So you like choose it from a drop down and that's it. So is your pet portal appearance, right? It's similar to an animation pretty much. Yeah, I think, okay, so if we establish that it's just a spell, then maybe we need a spell, right? At the moment we have an item. We have an item that is called Ring of Familiar, right? And that item is a magical item that allows you to keep the link between you and the, but maybe we need to evolve it, right? Maybe we need to evolve it. I'm getting some good ideas. The special random dungeon. I'm getting some ideas, guys. The idea is, uh-oh, our server is down or what? No! What is going on? Our main server is down? Oh. What happened? What happened, guys? Why you don't tell me anything? Is it restarting? Did it crash? Oh, fuck. Bro, is that dead? What happened? The machine restarted? What the fuck? Huh? How do I know on Linux when is the last restart time? Last system reboot. Who minus B? Who minus B? That's so weird. Who minus B? 2403 at 1731. When? 1731. Now what time is it? Guys, was it down? Was the server down now? Why no one notified me that the server was down, guys? Why? Yeah, the server is down actually. I don't understand what happened though. I would like to know what happened. The last log, wait, I have the log, so I can probably tail the log. The last log was 1823. This time doesn't make any sense. 1823, 1824. Ah, yes, 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago. Huh? Why the system rebooted? That's pretty bad. I don't understand what happened, but the system rebooted, guys. And I don't know for what reason it did. But anyway, I can restart it right now. I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's kind of weird that it rebooted. It's kind of strange. Should never reboot for whatever reason. Okay, I'm restarting it now anyway, so it should be up. It's good that we noticed, but actually I have logs until a few minutes ago. So in reality, if he went down, for very little time. Okay, anyway, I wanted to log in game and show you the ring. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that we can develop, right? We can develop this idea of the pet actually coming out of a portal. And so this ring of familiar item being able to actually switch between different creatures that you are basically capturing, right? Capturing from the other dimension. The problem is, if he's a ring, right? If he's a ring, how do we, I mean, it can also be in the same pet window in theory. So there can be a pet summoning window, which goes through the ring, which is opened only. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think more about it, but I think that I would like the idea that this process goes through the ring and a spell, right? And a spell. So that you can actually summon different creatures and send them back to their plane. Yeah, so I think it cannot be a shop, right? We can have a shop for mounts, but we cannot have a shop. Now, the problem of mounts is where do they go? Because we have the same problem, right? The mounts in theory. Yeah, I think we need to evolve this concept. I think we need to evolve this concept, because at the moment it's a bit weird. It's not fully developed, right? So you are basically allowing to summon and dismiss creatures, but without any real background. I wonder what Lavrus is telling when you get the... I have to go... But if I go under... I think we need to develop the lore more around familiars. We really need to develop the lore more and create something that is actually meaningful. Ring of Familiar, Lavrus is saying blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Yeah, you see, so it's basically doing a spell, right? You will have to find your way to some diamond crystal. You need to find a big large portal hole. Okay, so it's find a diamond crystal. Then say, okay, you found the crystal. I finished the first part of the spell, everything is ready for the next stage. Now let me add these crystals. Yes, it worked, the ring is ready, it is yours, right? And it gives you this ring of summon familiar. And is actually creating the familiar for you here, right? So the ring, so the moment it gives you the ring is actually creating the familiar at the same time. And yeah, and he's giving you the new familiar. So now in theory, to change it, you could go, we can have another quest, right? We can have another quest involving Lavrus again, or maybe involving another NPC that is actually capable of capturing creatures from other planes. I think that would be a good idea. Now, do we need a quest every time to switch, or just we need a permanent? I think we need a permanent quest or a permanent. I think we need a new quest to introduce the switch possibility, right? So it's kind of, you know, being able to reach other planes and bring creatures through portals, right? I think that is perfectly fine. We can even create a character, right? The character can own a shop for that, and he can have portals appearing randomly, you know, here and there, and he can be a crazy portal guy. Remember, you have 2 social pets, not all are Groffels. Yeah, we can add more. Now, when he does that, do you think he empowers your ring? Yeah, I think so. I think switching... So I think he will link the creature. Yeah, absolutely. So he will link, like, your ring to the new creature, right? He will link your ring to the new creature. And so if you want to do it again, right, you need to go to him again. So we need to create this character in this shop or this location, right, where he's actually able to do that. I think this is a good idea, guys. I think it is starting to sound like... It's starting to sound like reasonable. That is your ring. Okay. Okay, I like this. I think we need to evolve it a bit more, but I think the road that I'm taking, I think I like it. So basically you will be able to summon multiple creatures, right? And now the only thing that I don't understand well is the mount, because so the mount is not through the, because the mount at the moment is a bit weird, right? So it's also something that you summon instantly and doesn't make any sense. I mean, it may make sense for the family. I mean, unless they are all magical creatures. Yeah, they should be all magical creatures then. You can summon and unsummon. But how is the how is the Rivnak? I think there is a create Rivnak script, right? Yeah, exactly. So this roaming for a Rivnak, right? So what is the theory? What is the roleplay explanation? What is the roleplay explanation for this freaking mount to disappear? Because it doesn't make any sense. And in our world, everything should make sense. Even in a magical way, right? So you can just be a magical creature, but it must be a magical creature. I mean, if it's a normal horse, obviously it cannot disappear, right? So, or you need a spell, or you need a magical item, or the creature needs to be magical itself, right? Everything seems to be in order. I got the permit you asked for in my ring of summoned familiar. Oh, permit and a ring. And I take you want me to drop everything and send you right away, you know? Type of this don't cook themselves. I should turn into a rat. Let me see the permit before we continue. Seems to be in order. They're all done. You can now use your ring to summon a Rivnak too. Ah, okay. It's already this way. It's already this way, guys. It's already this way. You go back to Lavrus, and he's actually linking your ring to the Rivnak as well. Fantastic. So it's exactly like I was thinking. It's exactly like I was thinking. So it's already this way. So is the ring. So probably I already invented it this way like 10 years ago, and now I'm just rethinking about it. But yeah. Yeah. It's already this way, guys. Fantastic. Fantastic. So you know what? I think we need to have this ring with a special... I think we need to add a special skin to the ring. I mean, the ring should really look special, right? I don't know if it looks special today in the game. I think not. I think it's a simple ring, probably. Ah, it's this one. No, it's the blue one. Yeah, it looks a bit special, yeah. It looks a bit special, but I think it would be very nice then if this icon is actually the icon of the ring, and if this UI, right, somehow has the ring in a background, right, somewhere. I don't know where, but it, like that you are using the ring, we are clicking on the ring, you are using the ring somehow, right, to actually summon the pets. And I really would like to see a portal. So whenever you summon the pet, I really would like to see a portal appearing and the pet coming out of it. Or maybe just the effect of a portal and the guy appears, right? But that's enough. But just to be, you know, just to... just to ensure that it's clear that this guy is coming from a different dimension. Right? I think it would be nice. So I think we can add the portal. I want to add the portal. Absolutely. I want to add the portal because as it is now, it's not clear. I think it would be very nice if the portal or is jumping outside of the portal, but that I don't know if we can do. Because we need an animation, blah, 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 you know. Yeah. Okay, guys, I really need to go now, but it was a good discussion. I think we progressed in our reasoning here. Okay, I have to jump absolutely now. If you want to follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that would be very nice. Also, we have a Patreon site. That is patreon.com/planeshift. And remember that you can download the game and play it right now if you want. And yeah. Bye. Sorry, I was thinking why the server restarted actually. Bye. Can I click on me? Why? There is something here that is preventing clicks. I don't know what is it, but there is probably one object here that is colliding. I don't know what is that, but we have it for sure. In fact, I can click here, but I cannot click there. Bye. See you guys tomorrow evening. Bye.